Silver Dave here. How do you test if your silver's really silver or not? Let's find out. So I wanted to do this video sort of as a information video and a bit of educational video. It's not about finance, it's not about the price of silver, it's not about what's going to happen to silver. It's more to help you guys understand that when you buy silver, you can find fakes. And one of the worst things that can happen to you is you take your hard-earned money and you go buy silver and you realize that what you bought is not actually silver. So what are some easy, non-destructive ways, pretty quick ways you can use to test if something is silver? Well, the very first thing is you want to test for some of the properties of silver. And one of the best ways to test it is to see if whatever you're buying is magnetic or non-magnetic, and then test if it is diamagnetic or not diamagnetic. Let me show you. For example, this is a €2 coin, and in it is steel. There's some steel in it. It's a nickel and steel alloy. And this is a silver bullion coin, right? This coin, it doesn't stick. This is a very strong magnet. I have a hard time, I can't even break it apart. You can see I'm putting quite a bit of effort to break it apart. This is a very, very strong magnet. Let's put it on the other coin, the steel one. As you can see, it sticks. This is not silver. This doesn't have any silver, it's nickel. What if it's this type of nickel material? How do you test it? It's also not sticky, right? It doesn't contain any steel. Well, let me show you. One property of silver is that it's diamagnetic. So if you take an American silver eagle, you put the small magnet on top, you let go, it sticks to it. And I'm not doing I'll do it from the side so you can see how the sort of angle. This is quite a steep angle, and it's just going to, oops, that was not great. It's quite a steep angle. The other magnet, it was pulling it. These are, move it further just in case so I don't get pulled onto the other magnet. You can see that it's slowly going down relative to the coin. It's not very fast. I have enough time to catch it at the end. This is called diamagnetism. Does nickel exhibit diamagnetism or steel? Well, steel would simply attach, but nickel has no diamagnetism. Let me show you. It will not stick. It won't be sticky to the coin. I also have some metal in the table. You can see that it just sticks to the it sticks to the table. It's so powerful, these magnets. So, using magnets, you can check if your coin is diamagnetic or not. As you can see here, I have quite a steep angle, and the coin, instead of falling, it sticks. The second way you can do it, you can test whether your silver coins are real or not. And this is more specific to bullion coins, because a diamagnetic test, you can do it on bars, you can do it on a lot of things. For bullion coins, they have a specific weight. And typically that weight is 31 grams for a 1 ounce coin. And as you can see here, oh, sorry, units are wrong. Let's see, 0, 0. I have 31.28. The screen is a bit messed up, so yeah, it's been in my pocket for quite a while. And in this case, this one, same bullion coin, 31.28. So a small scale like this that can measure up to the 100th of a gram is very useful when you're trying to, when you're buying silver, because it allows you to weigh and measure how much your silver weighs, especially for bullion coins. You can determine whether these bullion coins are authentic or not. Now I'm gonna tell you another way. This is the final way I use to make sure that my coins are 100% authentic. And the reason why I do this is because you can make fakes out of copper and plate it with silver, and you can stick a tiny slab of tungsten in the middle so that you get both the weight, the density of your silver, and the weight, and the diamagnetic, some of the diamagnetic properties into the coin without actually using silver. You're like, huh? How do you do that? Well, copper is also relatively diamagnetic, slightly less. So if you use a little bit of copper in the middle, you're sandwiching like this coin with between a coin inside that's made out of two copper plates and then a tungsten plate in the middle. And then you cut that out in a CNC machine, let's say, and then you plate the whole coin with silver on the outside. You would get roughly the same properties as this. And all of these tests, the weight test, the magnetism test, it would fail. It would not be a cheap copy. It would be, I would say, a super copy, but it's possible. Like in terms of material, I have never seen somebody do a super copy of bullion coins yet. It's kind of like, I know that, for example, for watches, there was a time where you could buy a cheap Rolex at somewhere in Brooklyn. You know, you go out and there would be like a $5 Rolex. Well, I suggest that you take a look. There's something called super copies now that they make of Rolex watches that use the same materials and that even copy the movement. And the only way you can tell whether it's a real Rolex or not a real Rolex is actually if you open it, you take it to a Rolex dealer. They look at the movement, they look at the balance wheel, they look at every single component, and there are just a few components that are different. So that's a super copy. I'll put a link in the video to show about super copies. Thank God it hasn't come to bullion coins, but it could, because this design can be super copied. You can use a CNC machine and then you can cut two plates of copper, sandwich a plate of tungsten inside, which is much heavier, and then cap it with silver. And then you would have capped silver bullion. But if you do that, and this is almost a surefire way that you can test for whether a coin is real or not, without you buying the what they call XRF machines, which check the percentage of the surface silver. You can actually, if you have an XRF machine and you put a coin like that with plated silver all over it, and it's only checking the surface, it'll believe the surface might be silver. That could be because it's actually shooting, well, maybe not. Maybe, yeah, because it's shooting X-rays to see if whether it gives off the same property as silver, and it will go through the coin. But another way you can test whether a coin is real or not is with its sound. And let me just demonstrate this. I'm gonna take off my mic and I'm gonna show you. So this is my mic, and I will show you a ringtone. And then I'll show you. So as you heard, these two coins have very different sounds. And because of that, there are a lot of apps out there that allow you to test coins with their resonance. And I'll show you a few videos of me using the app and using my, you saw that I had this tiny small microphone that I use to record sound. I use that too to record sound from the coins, and I use that to check if actually the resonance and the sound pattern coming out of the coins match existing known patterns that should exist for the coins. So let's go to my computer and I will show you the recordings and describe a bit what I'm looking for. This first step that I'm going to show you is called Boolean Tester Free. I'll put the link in the description below. It basically records the sound of your coin tap. I dropped the coin. And as you can see, I'm going to try another coin, which is the €2 coin now, and it's slightly different. Now I'm going to try the taku, which is also a silver coin of the same size as a silver eagle. And you'll see quite interesting results. Compared to the silver eagle, the taku has a much, I would say, a much more subdued sound, but it rings slightly different. But the Precious Coin Testing app is just one of two apps I use, and the second app I use is called Precious Coin Tester, which is much more precise. And I'll show that to you. So here I actually made a mistake. I was ringing the $2 taku, but I selected the $1 taku, which is the half-ounce coin. And you'll see that I'm doing 3 rings, and in my 3 rings, what you will see is that it will give me the wrong result, right? And it took me a while to realize that when I tapped 3 times, I wasn't getting the right result. So then I was like, okay, why was I not getting the right result? My coins were, I know they were real. And then I go check my settings and I realized, oh, I set the wrong coin. So the first coin I used was just to show you that each coin had a different type of frequency. You can see in more detail. But this coin tester actually is called Precious Coin Tester, and it actually has much better precision in recording the type of coins. And you'll see that I'm going to try and tap it with some silver eagles, which passed the previous test that I mentioned that the takus and the silver eagles were the same. You see that in the Precious Coin Tester, it actually tells me that the silver eagles are not the same. It only passes a few of the full results. It doesn't pass all 3 tests. It passed only 2 out of the 3 tests. It's still good. It's still probably silver. It says that it's close to the coin, but it's not really that coin. Now I'm going to change the settings to the silver eagle, and I will show you that if I change settings to the silver eagle, it's going to give me exactly the silver eagle sound, and I can test it against the silver eagle. So that's the silver eagle. We'll do another test. The link for these coin apps, which will allow you to do your resonance tests, I'll put them in the description below. The 2 examples I give are free coin testers. I'm in no way affiliated to any of them, so feel free to check them out and download them. It helps if you have a small microphone like I have, which is relatively precise. And the last one, I did a few tests, not on the silver eagles, but on the €2 coin, which doesn't pass anything. Those are a few of the tests that you can use to test whether your silver is real or not. Remember, magnetism, weight, and sound. There is one more, which is you can measure the size of the coins. The reason why I don't do that typically is because it's redundant if you do all of the other 3. And my favorite method is to do the weight, the magnetism, and then the sound. And if they pass all 3, typically I don't do the size measurement. The size measurement is useful if you want to do just one more additional check. And if you don't have, for example, the sound app and you don't have a very good microphone, you don't want to buy an external microphone, doing the weight the magnetism and the size test could be enough. But if they do super fakes where they actually get the size right and they get the density, so the weight right, relative to the size, it would fool this process. The reason why I do the sound is that if somebody does a mixture between copper plates and tungsten, and then they just plate it with silver, and you get the right weight and you get somewhat of the right reading of the magnetism, and then you do the size test, it will also pass. If you do a water specific weight test, it will also pass that. But if you do a sound test, the sound properties, because it's sandwich layers, will be very different from pure silver. So that test, it will definitely fail. If you like the content, feel free to subscribe. If you want to have questions of how I do my testing, and you want to talk to me, just write a comment below. Remember to click the like button. Remember to click the bell notification. Thank you very much for watching. Have a nice day.